Over those years, I might have realised that actually it doesn't have that effect, that usually it makes matters worse. But no, only in retrospect. But I'm a great one for perseverance, as bad guys usually discover, so I kept at the smiling even though she wasn't getting it at all. Maybe she had her mind on other things. She nodded at me, then trundled off. I stared at the cot some more. Then I gave it a bloody good kick. This didn't make it any smaller, though it did cause 2 wooden bars to splinter. If ever I did get to hand it over to the youngsters, they would presume I'd rescued it from a skip. Even though they didn't have a penny to their name and were largely dependent on Starkey charity, they would look at me with disdain and moan what a cheapskate I was. So I gave it another kick. Then I grabbed up the screwdriver and took the rest of it apart. It took 10 minutes. I walked down the hall to the storeroom and rescued the original packaging I'd stuffed there and put the components back in their box, then struggled down the stairs with it and outside into the rain. It felt heavier than it had when I'd brought it up to the office. Maybe disappointment, frustration, and embarrassment were adding a few pounds. From his doorway, my friendly neighbourhood butcher, Joe, said, "Can I give you a hand?" and then preempted my response by giving me a slow hand clap. I would have told him where to go, but he had access to a large range of carving knives and cleavers and a criminal record as long as his heavily tattooed arms. So I gave him a ha and struggled on to the car. I set the box down and opened the boot. I loaded it in. I sauntered back down the alley. Joe was still in position. He said, "I hear you're a grandad." "You're very well informed," I said. "Twitter," he replied. "Fuck's sake," I said. "Aye." He turned back inside. I crossed the road. The cafe was bare bones basic, which was fine by me. It had become my home from broken home. They were used to me bringing my clients in. They'd wine, I'd dine. It was the business I was in. As I sat at the table, Diet Coke and German biscuits in place, I put my hand out to the woman and said, "Sorry, I'm Dan Starkey." "But you—" "I usually refuse to recognise myself. It's a defence mechanism." "Ah. In case you're Rosa Klebb, sent to assassinate me. Not that you look like Rosa Klebb." Though she did. "Rosa." By way of distraction, I lifted a biscuit and bit into it. I have a sweet tooth. Just one, thanks to having a sweet tooth. I now boast a rather fetching set of slightly too white top-row crowns. I bought them with some of the fee I received for my last case, which involved a teenage messiah and a religious cult called the New Seekers, who were still growing apace. The waitress behind the counter had lately taken to sporting the NS emblem, and now rarely laughed at my jokes. "And you are—" "Moira Doherty." She put her hand out. Liver spots. "And I have no intention of assassinating you." "That's what they all say." She took a sip of her tea. I said, "You came all the way from Londonderry just to see me." "No, I mean not exactly. I came to see a woman, a journalist, at the Belfast Telegraph, and she suggested I talk to you." "Ah," I said. "Would this woman happen to be called Sarah Patterson?" "Yes. How did you—" "We're old frenemies. And did she speak fondly of me?" "She said you were tricky." "Tricky?" "And expensive. But if I offered you half as much as you wanted, you'd probably do it." "Well, you've shot yourself in the foot there." "How do you mean?" "Well, knowing that, I'll double my price and then make it look like I'm being nice and end up doing it for what I would normally get." "And what do you normally get?" $300 a day plus expenses." "Well, then I'll offer you $150 a day and half of your expenses." "Damn it, you have outfoxed me."
"Or you may have outfoxed me, Mr. Starkey."
"And you'll never know." I lifted the side plate and offered her the remaining German biscuit. She hesitated, then took it.